All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition. Why did I agree to leave? You know what? Hi, everybody. I just want to say this. And then I want to say I should have never agreed to lead because I lost my voice the other day doing ring announcing, and I still sound scratchy. Not to mention yesterday was New Year's Eve, and I had
you sound great.
I had to yell at everybody because I was throwing them out of the club, and it's just like it's bad. I'm never going to get my voice back doing this, but we're here. Unpopular review, top 10, not 5.
Top 10.
Top 10 wrestlers of the year for 2023. I'm one of your hosts today, the executive consultant, joined by my normal tag team partner, the reigning, defending, undisputed, if you hear that, Barb and Ron, tag team champions of UPRW, Big Daddy Cool, and joining us today is none other than Evil Dose. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year, everybody.
Your future champion, UPRites.
That's the Royal Rumble, right? There's the next time we have the title on the line. Right now, your champion is Bad Guy Jack for some reason. I can't understand.
He got right. He got the stuff right for AEW.
Yeah, believe it or not, I think it's the first time he did it for AEW. I was like close behind. You know what's funny? As long as Big Daddy Cool's been with us, he's only won one time. And I think it was last year, 2023.
Yeah.
Shocked me. Because he's terrible at these.
I'm going to admit to something. I mean, for those that are tapping in here to see top 10 wrestlers, we'll get to that in a second. Unpopular Review does wrestling podcasts, and we have our own little private chat, and we like to pick predictions. Who's going to win at every pay-per-view, and whoever wins the most, gets the most right, becomes the UPR champion and gets bragging rights. And a couple, months back, I got right one pay-per-view. I cheated completely. I changed like 2 of my votes midway through the pay-per-view, but I won, so I'm the champion.
Cool story, bro.
Thank you. Go ahead. Lead us away, Chris.
All right, let's go ahead into it because we got a lot to talk about and a little time to do it in because we got to be done this quickly. Let's go on. I'll start off with my honorable mention because I have an honorable mention because there's so many wrestlers. AEW has like 200 wrestlers alone. WWE has like 175 wrestlers. MLW has like 25. Indiana Impact Wrestling has 35.
None of them are on the top 10 list. Stop it. None of those guys.
I have 2 honorable mentions, and I want to give them praise.
From MLW? Go ahead. I'm intrigued.
Well, Matt Riddle will be debuting with MLW come this Saturday.
That's great. So is it Pagano and Ricky Shane Payne? Great.
No, I don't have anybody.
Mine also.
MLW. And on my list, I just didn't want to give Steven the satisfaction, but I have nobody MLW on my list. My honorable mentions are actually 2 people. One is going to be from Impact Wrestling, better known as TNA. It'd be the middle of the month, and that is Trinity, who I think has done a fantastic job this year.
Wow.
Making a name for herself over there, becoming the champion, really building up her cred, so to speak, before she returns to WWE, because it's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, happening sooner rather than later. But I just think Trinity did a fantastic job, and she needs to be mentioned. And I also want to give a shout out to one Tiffany Stratton from NXT. I think she is the next big thing when it comes to women. Much better than Lyra Valkyria. No offense to her. But I just see big things from Tiffany Stratton, and I think she proved it this year. Those are my honorable mentions. Big Daddy Cool, Evil Dose, did y'all have any honorable mentions of your own?
I do now.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, my first honorable mention is perhaps the most successful member of the Bloodline, possibly the longest reigning champion of all time. I'm not sure because I don't watch this promotion, but it is also Trinity Fatu, who I'm pretty sure has broken Hulk Hogan's record for the longest reigning Impact champion. And since time runs differently in Impact, she's probably been the champion for 8.5 years. My other honorable mention is actually someone who I do watch. From the beginning of the year to the end of the year, just completely gone from a pretty cool sidekick to a star, and is only going to get better. And that's Trick Williams.
My honorable mention is Bishamon. They're one of the hottest and fastest rising tag teams in all of professional wrestling. So into Bishamon.
Can I ask the audience a question who are watching? Who the freak is Bishamon? You keep mentioning these people. No one knows who they are. What's up, Jeffrey? How you doing? Nice shout out. Thank you so much for the shout out you gave us on X earlier today, as well as the Big Pop Theory podcast. We all appreciate it.
Come on, Bishamon
thank
is
you,
the
Trinity and Tiffany. Nobody knows who Bishamon is. They should be in the top 300, maybe. I don't understand. Crystal Clare watching us from YouTube. Thank you so much. Watching exactly. Nobody knows who these people are.
Go Google it. Chris LeClaire knows. He knows his wrestling. 2024. Look up Bishamon, Jeff. Go type that into your Google.
I'll have to look him up. I'm a big fan.
There you go.
Can't be serious.
First time caller, big fan, long time fan.
Yeah, Bishamon. They were on an AEW show this year. Did you know that? No, of course you don't. But yeah, you claim to be a big AEW fan.
Yeah, they were on AEW.
Just because you went to an AEW show on Saturday and I did not because they're not here. And of course they were here Wednesday and I didn't go. But I had to work. I have a shoot job.
Yeah, I went to World's End. It was great. I stood awake the whole time.
Good. It was a good pay-per-view from what I read.
All right. I heard it was terrible.
I heard
good
it was
is
terrible
subjective.
Too. I'm trying to. I was waiting for the punchline. Steven was going to throw in there really quick. Jeffrey needs to know how you spell it.
You spell it. You spell it like this. You spell it Bishamon. Bichmon.
Translation. That translation. He don't even know. He doesn't even know.
Bicho. Oh no, Bichimon.
You don't know the proper names of the Japanese characters involved.
Oh, don't ask me to name them. I'm not that deep into them. I don't know Matsuka and some other and Clowno.
And Tatsuko.
That's right, Matsuko and Tatsuko.
My number 10 is going to piss off Steve very, very much, but I'm going to go ahead and shout out them only because I feel like they've done a fantastic job this year as far as their wrestling quality matches. Down at NXT before getting a call up a Raw, and they've been killing it every single week. They should have won the WWE Undisputed Unified Championships, Tag Team Championships a couple weeks ago. They came up a bit short, but they will win it sometime, I believe, in the year 2024. That is the Creed brothers are my number 10 for Wrestlers of the Year. Big Daddy Cool. Let's kick it on to you.
You know what? You obviously are trying to work me and piss me off because after I drop my number 10, I'm gonna walk out of this show because I'm done with your nonsense trying to put over the Creed brothers. Nobody was looking for the Creed brothers. Nobody's still looking for the Creed brothers. Stop trying to make the Creed brothers a thing. That must be your New Year's resolution for 2024 is make the Creed brothers a thing because guess what? They're bums. You can't even name me the two. What's his name? Mike and Ike Creed. Who are those bums?
No, it's Apollo and the new kid.
No, it's Julius.
The new
and
Creed.
Brutus. Julius and Brutus.
You got it together this time. Well, listen, nobody's looking for those Creed brothers.
Apollo and Apollonia.
I got another tag team that's way up higher on my list, but don't worry, I'll get to that when I get to it. But my number 10 is, sadly, I got to give this guy respect. Gunther. I put Gunther at number 10.
Okay.
Because he's the longest reigning Intercontinental champion and broke the Honky Tonk Man's record, and that's got to be something. So
I'm glad you finally gave him some props and cred.
That's the last time you're going to see me say that. It's the last time.
He's the ring general.
I don't know what that means. What's he general of? Is there an army out there?
Ring. It's literally in the name.
No, but who's he marching to? Who's marching for him? Who?
Well, Imperium.
Thank you.
The two Nazis.
Evil Dose, your number 10, please.
This guy could have been anywhere from 10 to 1, depending. But I don't know that there was somebody more important or more talked about in wrestling this year. In the ring, outside the ring, mostly outside the ring. Is he? Isn't he? What's he doing? What's this about? NDA? Yes, I'm talking about CM Punk.
CM Punk is your top 10. That is interesting. That is very interesting. I didn't see that coming. And the reason how come I did is because CM Punk barely wrestled this year.
Right.
Okay. Well, learn something new. Not a bad choice. CM Punk very controversial, but at the same time, he brought a lot of noise to 2023. You did not have a 2023 out talking about CM Punk, whether it's his return to AEW, whether it's his backstage fights, whether the fact they created a whole freaking show just to have CM Punk on, and of course his return to Survivor Series in Chicago and subsequent promos he had on Raw and SmackDown since, and his impending main event feud with Seth Rollins, possibly and probably at WrestleMania. Good choice. My number 9 is somebody else who I've mentioned on this very show. I was not a fan of, and what I mean was not a fan of, I was not a fan of his work. I was actually a fan of his work, but when he showed up at AEW, I said, just another WWE reject, no reason to sign him. He's not going to go anywhere. He can't do anything. He can't be a main event scene. This year, he proved myself and a lot of naysayers wrong, and I have no problem going up to this man and apologizing for everything. He wants to be the first ever African-American AEW heavyweight champion in the world. I think he's right on the way to it. Truth be told, I'd rather him have beat MJF than Samoa Joe, and I'm a fan of Samoa Joe, but I thought that ending was kind of clunky. That's just me. I'm talking about Swerve Strickland is my number 9, even though since Steve had to step away, we'll go to you for your number 9.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I sort of like that pick. I wouldn't have picked him myself because his year was weird. It definitely ended on a strong end, and
except for the Dustin Reynolds thing, right? Because that just I was a little confused by that. I saw why for the media scrum, but Dustin, was that the best choice?
No, his whole year's been odd. But I mean, the Continental Classic, he looked strong, and a lot of people believe in him. And he had that one day where there was a revolt against him because of the song he wrote or whatever. I look for him for big things this year, and I actually think it's easier for Tony Khan to have him beat someone like a Samoa Joe for that title than one of his cherished MJFers, or an Adam Page or someone like that. My number 9 is someone who I feel like it could be the same windup that you gave. That I will apologize. I was not a believer in this person at all, but they've been a highlight of wrestling the entire year long, probably longer. I don't know what this person does without their existing story and group, but it doesn't matter because we're grading 2023. My number 9 is Dominic Mysterio.
That's a really good pick.
That's a very good pick. That's a very good pick.
I want y'all to know that I came back because I needed to school Chris on something. And I want to school a lot of you here too. Swerve is a good guy. He's a good wrestler. Is he top 10? No, he's not. Not in 2023 and probably not in 2024. Why, you may ask?
Yes, why, Steve? Okay.
Because Swerve is nothing but an entrance. Swerve, before Nana started dancing around, nobody was talking about Swerve. Nobody. And then he did 2 things. One, Nana started dancing, and everybody sings, I like to swerve when I drive. And then they get up and they do bad dancing. Just look at that. Just bad dancing. Horrible.
Oh, I can bad dance.
Oh, please stop. We're gonna put out a video soon. Unpopular review. Follow us on YouTube. Like and subscribe. We're gonna put out a video of bad dancing at live TV. You're gonna see how bad.
But that should be the TikTok channel. Just all of us doing the swerve dance.
Swerve is the swerve challenge. Swerve is nothing but an entrance. Swerve is nothing but an entrance. I'm telling you right now.
Maybe UPR try to do that.
When Swerve becomes the world champion in AEW, and it's going to happen in 2024.
Steve, you should write a rap song called "Swerve Ain't Nothing But an Entrance."
I should, if I knew how to do that. I'm gonna find somebody.
Harley Cameron.
When he wins the world title in AEW, he's going to lose all his fans because that's the AEW fans. They're fickle. They're gonna stop following him.
He used to be fun.
And guess what? They'll stop dancing because it'll get boring and they'll move on to the next thing. Swerve, I'm sorry, man. He ain't nothing but an entrance. Right, Chris?
I mean, I picked him as my number 9, so why would I agree with you? He's not nothing but an entrance. Now, granted, I will give you that. His entrance made him go to a different level. I will completely agree with you on that. You can't deny his wrestling skills, but a lot of wrestlers, their entrance or their catchphrases or something, put them on that extra level, right?
Look
at Daniel Bryan. Right. Until he started saying yes, nobody was checking for Daniel Bryan, just like you always say, right? Before he started
Nobody
saying
looking
yes.
for him.
Yeet made Jey Uso a little bit more popular than his theme song. It is
But he was already main event. He was already
called main event, but nobody believed he was main event until his entrance and his yeet. Now people give him credit. Seth freaking Rollins is doing better than he's ever had, and it's because of his entrance. Mean, it's always something that makes people pay more attention to him. Otherwise, now you have a Chris Benoit. They might like you for a while, but ultimately, you're not going to be long lasting.
Evil Dose, let me ask you this question. What's Roman Reigns' finishing move? What's it called?
Whatever he goddamn wants that day. He's got the guillotine. He's got the Superman punch. He's got the spear. He's got all sorts of stuff.
What's Seth Rollins' finishing move?
His opener.
Okay, anybody can see this coming.
The curb stop. Chris, go ahead. Tell me, what is Swerve's finishing move called?
Let's see. He has that the Meteora. He has the Meteora. He has that thing. What do you laughing at?
What's the name of that finishing move?
Oh, I don't know the finishing name of the finishing
move.
But I know what he does.
You know that you swerve when you drive. That's all you know.
I know this is taking too long. Can we get to your number 9, please?
My number 9 is Tony Storm. My number 9 comes from AEW. Tony Storm did a great job in 2024. That's it. Tony Storm is it.
Tony Storm is it. Okay. That's 2 picks I wouldn't see coming. One an AEW pick, and the other is your reigning Intercontinental Champion. I did not see coming. Swerve Stomp. Okay. All right. Fine. Okay, good. This means you're not going to stay the whole show. I appreciate this. Elvis Martinez and his wisdom.
Solo.
Number 10 says Aaron Solo, right? Let me tell you something. This is such a bad pick for his number 10. If Aaron Solo would have said, name my top 10 wrestlers for 2023, Aaron Solo would have cracked his top 20. Number 9, Joey Ryan. Number 8, Action Andretti, who picked up a big win over Chris Jericho and then went to obscurity. 7 is Dolph Ziggler, who I thought got released this year. Dana Brooke, that bummer LW, this is a complete joke. This is a complete joke. Eddie Kingston's number 1. I don't even know why I clicked this. Matter of fact, let's delete this comment. Where's it at?
I like that he also put a number and then a dot and then parentheses. Like
I deleted it. I deleted it. I can't do it. Number 8. Number 8 in our top 10, I'm going to start off, is going to be none other than a person who was just mentioned not too long ago, but he had a phenomenal year, and I really wanted to rank him higher because I think he could be in his top 3. But it's just been a great year for a lot of wrestlers. My number 8 is the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins.
That's a good pick. Why is he not higher? I don't understand.
Why are you higher?
My number 7 to 1. I just think did a much more impactful year than Seth freaking Rollins. But like I said, if somebody says Seth freaking Rollins was their number 1 pick, I can't argue. I just can't. I think he did a great job.
My what are we, number 8? My number 8 pick is CM Punk. CM Punk had a great year. He did great. Lots of professional wrestling. He's a draw. He can bring in 200,000 people to a brand, as we've noticed. The Dynamite ratings are going down. The Raw ratings are up. CM Punk, number 8. Jeff?
Are you asking me a comment or are you asking me to pick my number 8?
No, pick your number 8.
My number 8 is somebody who's been in and around everything that's important on both brands, and that is the interesting Uso, Jay. So main event Jay Uso, Yeet is my number 8.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick commercial break, find out what we're going to talk about on Wednesday. When we come back, numbers 7, 6, and 5. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
I do remember Tony Khan did say that they are unifying the titles. So I think it's the New Japan Openweight Strong title, the ROH title, and the Continental title. It'll become the Triple Crown title. So it'll be one title, but they have all the belts. Technically, Eddie was the champion of those belts, but he's not the Triple Crown champion. If he wants to get that title, he has to maintain basically in the tournament. So that's how that will work. But yeah. So I mean, I like the fact that Swerve won because I want to keep that momentum going for him. I see him being even if he doesn't win the tournament.
But Swerve didn't win.
I'm sorry?
Swerve didn't win.
He didn't?
No. This is AEW.
Swerve did win. What do you mean?
Tony Khan loves 2 men's penises, and that would be Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy's, and they don't lose unless it's okay with them. Then maybe a distant third is Chris Jericho. So of course Moxley won. I mean, so Swerve looked great, but Moxley, won.
Am I misremembering that?
I think that you are imputing what you would have liked to have seen, what most people would have liked to have seen. I heard a lot of people saying that they thought that Swerve was going to win. Then I heard a lot of lesser, but a fairly substantial amount of people saying they thought JY was going to win. And the whole time I'm laughing. This whole thing was set up to be one of two things: BCC versus BCC, because it's Brian's wish G1. But given his health, the B story was always. Yeah, it was always Eddie Kingston was going to come from behind and be the Triple Crown winner because he masturbates over Japanese wrestling. So good. And by the way, obviously there's still 3 belts, not one unified.
I don't know. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. I don't know.
I'll give it time. All right.
Give it time. He was carrying 3 belts. What are you talking about?
He won 3 belts that night.
It should have been unified.
It might be 1 belt next time you see him.
Let me tell you something, Chris. I know 2 things that are real and factual about AEW. One, and these both don't exist. A unified Continental title that does not exist. And after this World Out pay-per-view, you know what I realized? There's also no AEW policy that exists, because Tony keeps citing a policy like a sexual harassment policy, an accountability policy, but when asked, he doesn't even answer properly. He said
he can't answer it.
No, he said my disciplinary committee, like everything. I send it to the disciplinary committee.
He said there's a certain committee.
He sends it to
number 7. Let's talk about it. Number 7. My number 7 is actually at Evil Doses number 8. And I was asked why didn't you set freaking Rollins go higher? I just think Jey Uso's just been phenomenal this year. It's not just about starting off strong, ending strong. It's also to me about did you start? End better than you started. And in my opinion, even though he was a champion when he started, he was a tag team champion. I just think he's the most over superstar in WWE right now. Jey Uso really made himself a standout superstar. He is my number 7.
That's a good pick. Jeff?
My number 7, it might be controversial only because of where the placement is. Some probably will think it's way too high, as in not low enough towards meaning high as in bad, like golf, because held a championship for most of the year, 2 for some of the year, but this has been a really weird year for this dude as far as I'm concerned. Sort of up and down and controversial and a lot of needless, unforced errors, goofy stories, but can't deny how important his in-ring, out-of-ring, and off-camera entirely, all the drama surrounding him is to the wrestling world these days, and that's MJF.
That's good. I got MJF a little higher.
I completely forgot about MJF. I don't know how I forgot about MJF. He would actually take over the Creed Brothers spot. Ugh.
Well, he was inducted into the National Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, so yeah, there's that.
Shout out to MJF. That was a very good pick.
Thank you.
Look, you don't care about women's wrestling. You didn't pick Trinity. You didn't pick Tiffany Stratton, and then you didn't pick MJF.
My list is not done yet.
I'm talking about Chris.
How did I don't care about women's wrestling? If I did pick Naomi,
you all your honorable mentions were women.
Okay.
So it's obvious that you don't have anybody on your list that's a woman. It's obvious to me.
Oh, okay. All right.
You picked the Kalahari Bushman. We don't even know what you picked.
No, Bishimon.
Oh, Bishimon.
I love Japanese wrestling.
Is that like Voltron? Is it like 5 guys? They form one giant wrestler. They form almost.
They form almost all 4 of them.
It's like 5.
All right, my number 7.
Form one almost.
My number 7 is the best tag team in professional wrestling this year. That is FTR. Wait, FTR.
The Creed
FTR could wash the Creed brothers.
Maybe in a bathtub, but in a wrestling ring, I got the Creed brothers over FTR. I'm sorry, I do. FTR might actually can go toe to toe, and it will be a phenomenal match. But the things the Creed brothers can do in the ring, FTR ain't doing that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. What are they doing in the ring again?
They're telling great stories, putting on great matches, with doing some things you are not supposed to.
Nobody in this audience can tell me what their favorite Creed match is. You know why? Because that shit doesn't exist.
Oh, plenty of Creed brother matches were really good. They've had
Go
great.
ahead.
Every single one of their Raw matches were good. The one they had against Judgment Day was fantastic.
Which two
When they
members
faced
of
the New
Judgment
Day,
Day?
when they had the Gauntlet match, it was Finn Balor and Damien Priest. Stop. When they had the Gauntlet match, it was fantastic. The Creed brothers, I don't see them have bad matches. FTR,
I saw like 5 botches in that match. I don't know what you're talking about.
My
I saw
favorite
them.
was the triple threat with Gallus and the family.
You
My
see
second
this?
favorite was with Alpha
you
Academy.
are a hater. Elvis, he's probably one of the 3 people that voted for you, and that's why you agree with him. But you know what? I don't care, okay? I don't care. Elvis, hey, what was your New Year's plan? What was your New Year's resolution? Can I tell you what your New Year's resolution should be? Not to step outside anymore. Maybe the world will be in peace if you stop stepping outside. Every time you go outside, they think it's an alien invasion. Please stay in the house, okay? All right. Their match against JD and Tony D's family. There you go.
There you go.
That's our number 7.
See how heathenous the Creeds are that they had to pick a fight with a family, a loving family. It's ridiculous.
2 families. Judgment Day is from his family as well.
Even though it's on you.
I'm going to go with Timeless Tony Storm because I love women's wrestling. Now, I mean, she won the championship twice this year. She's now a 3-time reigning champion, and she's created a character. It was a little bit messy how it got there, but once it settled in, it's one of the more creative things I've seen in wrestling. She's committed to it. Doesn't always work, but it does mostly. It's like the show How I Met Your Mother. Sometimes it goes off the rails, but when it works, it's like a home run. So Timeless Tony Storm, kudos to you. Listen, when you sort of quit WWE, I thought you were having some sort of meltdown, breakdown, something Jeff Hardy-esque, and you, my dear woman, have proved me wrong. Some people having freedom does work. And this managed to work for you. And then obviously you made the right friends to do what you want to do. And it's great. So good for you. And I will actually say that Saraya, while she hasn't been a big impact herself, this whole Outcast group is starting to have a little lineage of people who are sort of elevating themselves, who aren't in a title picture all the time. And it's a little bit. There's actually some women's wrestling stories starting in AEW. I don't know if it's accidental or what, but it's happening, and that's all we can ask for. So yeah, Timeless Tony Storm. The Oscar goes to you, my dear.
And I completely agree with you. I was at that event where she did that Jeff Hardy thing that you talked about, and I thought also, I think she always thought she was a great talent, but I didn't know how well she was going to translate to AEW. But to WWE's credit, how many gimmicks or changes did she kind of make till she found the one that kind of hit? WWE doesn't usually give you that kind of time. AEW just says, hey, what? Oh, you want to do this week? Okay, fine, go on. But she's done a phenomenal job. Shout out to Tony Storm. Let me answer some of these comments. Who are the Creed brothers? World knows who FTR are, but not the Creed brothers. I challenge you to go to the closest grocery store, in your case, Pet Supermarket, and you ask somebody who is FTR. I guarantee they don't know who they are. Watch out for the shoe. And 6 is Chris Jericho. Let's go ahead to number 6 because you already you said FTR. So I mean, let's go to our number 6. Our number 6 is the person who wants to do nothing in 2024 but to finish the story. He had the most wrestling matches in 2023. I'm talking about none other than the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Your number 6, Big Daddy Cool, who's looking crazy.
Many people put this guy at number 1. How dare you put Cody Rhodes at what, number 6?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's just insulting. This man is like the best babyface in all of professional wrestling.
True, but I don't see where he deserves to be number 1. Now, granted, another one, if you say number 1, because there's so many, I would be like, okay, fine. That's your opinion, and I can respect it. However, my personality, my thing, he lost at WrestleMania, even though he should have, right? He did defeat Brock Lesnar, and he won the tag team titles. Outside of that, I can't tell you what he did, right? He had a whole bunch of pyro. That's about it.
He beat Brock Lesnar?
Twice.
That's right.
I was there for both of them.
I know.
Nothing.
And that doesn't even crack a top 5? That's wild, man.
His match with Brock Lesnar the first time, outside the fact that Brock Lesnar bled like a turkey, was not that entertaining to me. Now, his match at SummerSlam was good, even though he used the steel steps and for some reason wasn't disqualified. I never get over that. But realistically speaking, he's just been kind of like there, coasting, which is fine. He's still a very good talent. But in my opinion, I have about 5 more people over him.
That's
Really,
crazy.
really,
Jeff,
it
who's your number
really would be more because I forgot about MJF. But anyway, go ahead.
My number 6 is the Intercontinental Champion Gunther. I mean, you know, he's sort of an IWC favorite and a WWE sort of more casual-based fan favorite as well. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, that if he is the Intercontinental Champion for an aggregate of the next 7.5 out of 10 years, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I don't really see him going to the next level, but I could be wrong. I was wrong with Dominic Mysterio and others. But no one can argue he hasn't been a workhorse. Had a great year, got married, had a baby, defended that championship on TV. He definitely made. This is the most important the Intercontinental Championship has felt, except for little slices at times since probably the 2000s.
Yeah, you said little slices because I was about to mention Miz's 2016, but yeah, you said that properly. All right, number 5. What the hell's wrong with you?
Oh no, I still got to live my number 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure it's gonna be crap, but go ahead.
You just want to skip me, huh? My number 6 is Cody Rhodes. And while I'm at it, here's my number 5.
Your goat. How do you take your goat? Medium or medium well? Because you're a troll.
He definitely is, right? and ladies and gentlemen, I found my clip from the show because
This is why that's why he works nights, because he can't go in the sun. He turns to stone.
And we know Big Daddy Cool so well, we should have saw it coming. That's the sad thing. I should have known I was being set up for that. But that's fine. Go ahead and explain
Day
to
one,
the
Day 1, 2024. And I already got you.
Go ahead and explain to the Hammerers why that's your number 6.
Okay, you said it all. Cody Rhodes did it all, but you know, there's 5 other names ahead of him who are champions. Cody Rhodes is not a champion, so you can't be the best if you're not a champion.
He did win the championship this year, the tag team championship. Of course, he lost,
and he lost it right away.
Press conference, I might say, with Jay. So what he said was one of the highlights of his career this year.
His highlight was the press conference.
Number 5 for me is actually going to be a little bit controversial. Number 5 for me is going to be a little heartbreaking for some, including yours truly here. I have to admit, because my number 5 is somebody who's been my number 1 for the last prior, I will say, 2 or 3 years. And that is none other than your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, is my number 5. Why is he my number 5 and not my number 1? Because unfortunately, he didn't show up enough for me to make him my number 1. Now, granted, I have no problem with the part-time schedule. I have no problem with him taking some time off. I do have a situational issue with him showing up at SummerSlam and then reappearing almost 2 months later to have a match at Crown Jewel and then taking another month off. Right? I did have a problem with that. I thought that was a little bit overdoing it, even for a champion. Like I said, I'm not the type of person who thinks he should be on each week. Last year, I thought he did a good job doing spacing out. This year, I mean, you weren't even a Survivor Series. Yeah, got a little bit of an issue. But besides that, I will say this. Every time he's on air, he's impactful, which is why he's still in the top 5. Every time he's on air, all eyes are on him, which is why he's still in the top 5. He brought to you some of the best moments of this year. We had the top 10 moments. Roman Reigns is at least 3 or 4 of them. At least. Roman Reigns still gets the respect that he deserves. However, in this case, I'm making him my number 5.
Roman Reigns gets the respect he deserves, except for when you are making a list of top wrestlers and then you just slap him in the face. Good job. My number 5 is Seth Rollins. He's become the WWE champion, and he's defended it.
World heavyweight champion.
Whatever. You know which. Do you want to run that skit again?
No,
which title is which?
No, we don't. Go ahead.
Oh no. Okay. Again, great job. Every match that he does is excellent. He knows how to wrestle. The guy's amazing. He's going to put over CM Punk without putting him over. 2024 is going to be even better for Seth Rollins. Jeff, who do you got? Number 5.
Well, this guy came back, sort of out of obscurity and became a star just like overnight. What an overnight sensation. I'm really so proud, and I couldn't be prouder to make it Danhausen. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm talking to the mega star. Whose game is it? L.A. Knight. Guy came from nowhere, from disaster, that maximum male models things. Anyone can do revisionist history all you want, but it was a disaster. The closest thing to good was when Maxime Dupree was trying to recruit Otis. Instead, they decided to move her to Alpha Academy instead of the reverse, and it freed up LA Knight. New management was in there. Those two jabronis that everyone is pretending they're like, Mason Mansour, still haven't gotten hired by anyone, probably never will. They think that they're marketable as a team.
Mansour did get booked for something, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, like actually signed a contract, not booked to. I mean, like Elijah is going to is booked for some match anyway. So yeah, LA Knight is whatever number we're up to. Is it 5? That sounds about right for the megastar.
LA Knight is another person I forgot. Now, granted, he would have made my top 10, but I can once again completely understood. Good job there, Evil Dose. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take another commercial break when we come back. 4, 3, 2. Stay with us. You're watching an Unpopular Review.
Russell, you know how I feel about Chase U, right?
Go ahead.
No. Do you know how I feel about this?
Why do you think I'm letting you go ahead? Because I know exactly how
Andre Chase is a fool. Let me tell you something. He said here the week previously, right? Everyone called me a madman. I had to deal with this on Twitter, Russell. I was bullied by Jeffrey, who apparently eats plates thanks to one Chase Soy. Chase Soy tried to bully me. I sat here and I called the truth. Andre Chase has a gambling problem. He went on the podium and said, hey, I have a gambling problem. We're going to get out of this mess. And he proceeds to gamble. He does more gambling, tries to put himself in more debt. So this man has not learned from anything. He's continuing his bad habits. Duke tries to say to him, like, yo, bro, you wildin'. You need to chill. Andre said, Pepper needs a new pair of shoes. And then as the match goes on, the Hills are taking over. Someone's taking over, but Duke gets the hot tag. Duke is just kicking ass, right? But Andre Chase, he can't help himself. He's a gambler. He says, I got this, Duke. Newsflash, he didn't. And you know what happened after he got in the ring? Proceeded to get dominated. And then he got dominated, got pinned. And now Chase U is just in a hooray right about now. And I'm supposed to feel sorry for this guy?
No, I think that he should have quit while he was ahead in terms of doing that thing he did last week for that money, because that would have helped him some.
Right.
But unfortunately, when you're an addict and you can't accept the fact they have a problem, you just keep doing it. And it's until this man gets an intervention some way, somehow. And my money is that either Duke Hudson or JCJ puts it together for this man. He ain't going to accept the fact that he's got a problem and he's going to keep going. And now it possibly cost him the money that he was going to get to help save Chase U. And now out of the mud are the number one contenders for the belts against the family.
NXT review show immediately after NXT with Bad Guy Jack and the Wrestling Doll Dahlia Dark. Join them each and every single Tuesday. Let's go ahead and let's get right into it. Our number 4 pick, my number 4 pick, is also going to piss Steve off. But I can't deny that this guy did a phenomenal job this year. I can't deny that he is, in my opinion, the true face of the company, because he does so much backstage. He does so much on stage. He needs to get his credit. I'm talking about the former member of the Shield, the former Dean Ambrose. I am talking Jon Moxley as my number 4. Big Daddy Cool.
I can't. You're fucking working me, man. Jon Moxley doesn't belong on any top 10 list. The guy is a bum. He's a bum. He doesn't know how to take holiday photos. Have you seen his Christmas photos? That man doesn't know how to take holiday photos with his family. He's a bum. Did you watch that match at World's End? He's a bum. He tried to get into a slap fest. Couldn't even hang.
My understanding is he, because I didn't see it, but my understanding is he actually made the match more entertaining by working Eddie Kingston's style.
Oh, really? Is that? Well, I guess you and me have a different understanding and definition of the word entertaining, because it was, let me look in my dictionary, the Chris Harris book dictionary here. Oh, entertaining. Boring as fuck is what the match was in reality.
Can we get better Christmas presents than your dictionary?
I know. We've got to put a Chris Harris dictionary together. This is insulting. The fact that this man is, what number? Number 4 on your list? Oh my God. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Guys, send your hate mail to unpopularreviews00@gmail.com.
Please don't.
Yes, please do. My number 4 is someone that deserves it, someone that won a title this year, someone that is the face of the brand in a matter of months, and that is Trinity Fatu of TNA. She's great. She's the champion. She's brought prestige and name recognition back to TNA. People are tuning into TNA because of Trinity Fatu. You know who they're not tuning in to see on Wednesday nights?
Joe Hendry.
John Moxley.
Wow. Jason Alexander or Josh Alexander.
No, hey, John Hendry is pretty good. John Henry. Joe Henry. I believe in Joe Henry. Yeah,
I believe love him. We don't know his name, but that's still love him.
I believe in Joe Henry. I think Joe Henry is NXT bound. I swear to you, I think he's great.
Yeah, no, I think he's great. He's a great member of the Creed brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You actually agree with that, even though it's like
he's going to be in the Creed Bros? No, he's first of all he's like much older than they are, but yeah, and he's Australian.
He is Australian.
Could have fooled me. Aren't the Creed brothers Australian?
No, definitely not. And Joe Henry actually won a title this year too. He was the Impact Digital Media Champion.
The Creed brothers definitely look like they're down from somewhere.
All right. Let's move on.
My number 3 is MJF.
Don't I get to pick number 4?
Oh, go ahead.
And we were at number 4, by the way.
Go ahead. Pick your number 4.
Who'd you pick? Who was your number 4?
I'll tell you who I wanted to pick and I didn't pick them.
He just went to MJF for his 3rd. He just skipped everybody.
There's actually 2 people. I wanted to pick Bryan Danielson, but like his year has been so bizarre, and actually for a guy who he hasn't been consistent in anything except putting himself in danger. He's put other people over, but he's also buried people when he didn't need to, and he's killing himself. And he's like the snitch and part of the disciplinary career and finding people. I don't even know what to make of this. It's too confusing. Another person who I want to put on here, but I can't, is Bianca. I love Bianca. I think she's a face. I think she's terrific, but I just feel like she's just sort of there. And I'm sure in the future we're going to appreciate it. She's going to be like John Cena. You're going to look back and appreciate her more after the fact. And she's a great athlete, but like we're all looking forward to something else. So I felt like I had to go a little deep cut for number 4. And so I wanted to go a little bit into the indies. And that is the only person I can think of that's actually made a true blue success of themselves consistently on the indies post WWE, and that's Matt Cardona.
That is a bold and high pick. Good job.
Well, my next 3 are going to be very unbold. So.
Speaking of 3, my number 3 is somebody who, hey, a lot of people will say this is controversial because they hardly ever defended the title this year. But in my opinion, the dominance that they exude on Monday Night Raw each and every single week, occasionally NXT and occasionally on SmackDown, you can't help but to put this person in there. That is the Eradicator, Rhea Ripley, your women's world champion, and stellar 2023. I don't even know if she took a loss. She started off by winning the Royal Rumble. She won one of the main events in WrestleMania in a clean victory, a rare clean victory over Charlotte Flair, and just been off to the races ever since. She's into a Destiny match going into WrestleMania this year, coming with Becky Lynch. I mean, it's not official yet, but I guarantee it's going to happen. Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, and that's money right there. Big things with her and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Rhea Ripley's my number 3. Big Daddy Cool,
MJF, number 3. What else was there to say? The man was the AEW World Champion for the most part of 2023.
The entire year until the 30th of December.
And listen, right before 2023, he lost the title, yes. But guess what? At the stroke of midnight, he joined WWE. So good job, MJF.
Okay, let me just, before we kick it down to even those, let me just say this right now. He is not joining WWE. He's staying at AEW. He'll be back in June or July once he clears up his injuries. He's not leaving.
He's not on the website. They took him off.
It's a work. This is coming from the king of works right here. Everything that happens, you claim is a work. You thought Naomi and Sasha was a work. You don't think it's a work? This you don't think is a work.
What type of work causes you to have your viewers go to Monday Night Raw the next day? What type of work does that? That's the dumbest work. If this
The
is
Rock
work,
being in San Diego.
it's the dumbest work ever. But again, Tony Khan is the head of AEW, so it could very well be that dumb.
It is definitely
exactly.
over.
There it is right there. You got to the right point at the end. My number 3 is your undisputed defending. By the way, there's already one 5'8" Jewish guy in WWE, so they only need another one, and that's Paul Heyman. But my undisputed defending Universal Champion Roman Reigns, and why is he not number 1? Sort of the same as Chris's reason. The bloodline story has sort of been tripping and bumbling and stumbling a little bit, and it started losing its path right around the time his part-time schedule got even more part-timey. So I don't, stories do have ebbs and flows, but when they have an ebb, it's the wrong time for him not to be around to try to make it feel important. And when he's there, you just know he's just there to get, to try to get over on someone, but get beat up. I mean, that's really it. And it hasn't felt like much the last, third of the year. So number 3, nothing to be embarrassed about, but it's Roman Reigns, who is still the most important person in wrestling, at least in the ring, on-screen talent, but number 3 in my heart this year.
My number
Roman
2
Reigns. Roman Reigns deserves to be number 1.
Well,
but I'm not going to fall for it this time, because you say that and he won't be your number 1. Okay, so you're overplaying your hand right now, Steven.
Steve's number 1 is Tyrus.
My number 2 is going to actually piss off this man again. I feel like I say that half the show, but my number 2 is not going to be very happy when it comes to him. Evil Dose might not be a fan of it either, because he's a bit of a sizes, and that's something we have in common. But there are certain wrestlers, Rey Mysterio, for instance, even though he disagrees with that.
If you fucking pick Will Ospreay, I'm going to walk off.
But there are certain wrestlers who I feel like have gotten beyond their size and actually made me a believer. And I'm not saying this person go up there against Brock Lesnar or Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton or something like that. Even though I think against Randy Orton, he'll have a fantastic match. But I feel like he's done a great job. I've never seen him have a bad match this year, and he's had so many matches. And no, we're not going to talk about the top 5 because we're pressed for time, Steven. But in my opinion, your current international champion of All Elite Wrestling, Orange Cassidy, had a great 2023 and needs to be recognized. And that is why he is my number 2 wrestler of the year, Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed.
I can't fucking believe you. You not only did you put Roman Reigns at, what was it, 7, 8?
6.
You put John Moxley over him. And then you have the audacity,
like he deserved more, yeah,
to put this vanilla midget over him.
Yep, Orange Cassidy never had a bad match this year. He had so many. I can't even count how many matches he's had.
Nobody remember. No, you know why you can't count him? Because you can't fucking remember him, Chris. You can't remember him. But guess what? The whatever 7 matches, 8 matches, 13 matches that Roman has been in, you remember them, all of them.
And that's why he still isn't in the top 10. If it wasn't for the fact that I remember all those matches, one, because I was there for half of them, but if it wasn't for the fact that I remember those matches, he wouldn't even made that. But one thing I've always said that Roman does better than almost any champion I've seen before him, since Hulk Hogan maybe, is that every match he's in feels like a big match feel. Every single one. And that is impressive in 2020.
We're talking about Roman, right?
Yeah.
Because I know there's no big match.
Orange Cassidy doesn't have, besides the one with Dean Ambrose he had last month or so, he doesn't have the big match feel thing. But the thing is, he's had a lot of matches and they all were good. And the fact that he's made me such a believer in him, I'm going to give him credit. He's phenomenal. He's fantastic. He's my number 2. Who's your number 2, Big Daddy Cool?
My number 2 is Rhea Ripley. I think enough has been said about Rhea Ripley that we don't need to keep going in. Listen, she's dating Dom. She's
dating Buddy Matthews.
She went out and got Dom. Hush your mouth. You've already talked enough nonsense on this show already. God help us who your number 1 is. It's not MJF because he didn't even put him on the list. So number 2 is Rhea. She went after Dom, got Dom. Went after the title, got the title. She's unstoppable. She's the leader of the Judgment Day. Yeah, she went after Dom. Remember, she was
She got
whispering
Dom
in
in
his ear?
2022. That's one.
I know,
Two,
but still,
she's not the
listen,
leader of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, she is the leader of the Judgment Day. I don't know what show you're watching,
Monday Night Raw.
but she's the leader. She's the leader.
There's no leader of the
So,
Judgment Day.
Rhea-
If there was,
and
it's
Rhea's-
Damian Priest.
Rhea's undefeated. Yeah, I'm just ignoring you at this point because this is ridiculous. You're obviously trying to work me, and it's only what? How many hours? 17 hours into the day, and you're already trying to work me into this year. Unreal. Rhea Ripley, number 2. Jeff, go ahead.
I'm sitting there. I was going, please say Ilya. Please say Carmelo. Please at least be Darby Allin. But instead it was Orange Cassidy. My number 2 is also Rhea Ripley. Nothing to add. She's been phenomenal. She dominates every scene she's in. She's a fabulous wrestler. She had arguably the best match of the year. She's great looking, but she's scary looking at the same time. She's been conniving. She's been doing sort of the Paul Heyman thing across brands. She's spent time on NXT. She got engaged and still has her man not only on the side but in prime time where everybody can see it going on. She's not afraid of Buddy Matthews. I mean, it's great. So yeah, Mommy has had a historic year. People use the word generational too much, but she has had a generational year for a female athlete in sports entertainment.
Christian Cage is somebody else who should have been an honorable mention. He did a great job this year. Just so many wrestlers, and this is why I said it was hard to limit it to 5, let alone 10. So, Christian Cage needs to be shouted out. Great year. Adam Copeland, not so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take
everywhere to fatherless people everywhere. Christian Cage is your daddy.
So, fun fact: when you have host here in StreamYard and backstage, but it's only the 3 of us. If you type in this little box that says post a comment, it will post it from all your destinations, right? So when I see that it's posted on Facebook and YouTube, and in this case, this is Twitch, I know that somebody in here typed a comment. So when I see stuff like who's Buddy Matthews from Facebook, who's Buddy Matthews from YouTube, who's Buddy, I think he picks a trash from YouTube. I think EC picks a trash from Facebook. I think EC picks a trash from Twitch. I know it has to be somebody in here. And since Jeff doesn't have access to it yet, right? I know it can only be you, Steven, which is very obvious anyway. Even if he had access, I would know it's you.
I feel like I just watched an episode of Knives Out. This was some great detectiving.
Call me Daniel Craig. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our final commercial break, and then we're going to get into all our number ones before we leave and prepare to get ready for the Mike Knox Show, which is making his break from hiatus, which is at 6 o'clock p.m., the show for the intelligent wrestling fan. Stay with us, though. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're watching Unpopular Reviews.
I want to thank you very much for coming to the official Mitch Martin Freedom Festival. He is a very successful, very disease-free gentleman standing by the minibar.
From DreamWorks Pictures.
We are officially starting a fraternity.
This is my house.
I heard you guys are starting up a fraternity.
Who told you that?
I want in.
Half these guys don't even go to the school.
I promised my wife I wouldn't drink tonight. Yeah, I'll do one. We're gonna do one. We're going streaking!
You may be asking yourself, why is this cinder block tied securely to your
Earmuffs.
Old school.
That is Old School, which we'll be reviewing for I Love the 2000s movies theme of this month. Will be tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. On Thursday, join us as we finish up I Love the 90s with Pulp Fiction, which is brought to you by the Mark Victor Rodriguez. Looking forward to that one. But right now, you're watching Unpopular Review Wrestling as we talk about our top 10 wrestlers from 2023. I'm the executive consultant, joined by Big Daddy Cool as well as Evil Dose. Let's get into it. Before we wrap up, our number one, I'll start off. Might piss off Big Daddy Cool, but probably won't because he also picked this gentleman in his top 10. But he picked him much lower than my number, which is number one. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't help but to pick him. He did a phenomenal job this year. Once again, just like Orange Cassidy, never had a bad match against multiple opponents. Match of the year in 2022. One of the matches of the year in 2023.
Which one, Chris?
Him and Sheamus. Clash at Castle. Match of the year in 2022.
Drew McIntyre and Sheamus carried that match.
No, that's in 2023. And I said one of the matches of the year. And no, Gunther never, whether it was against The Miz, whether it was against Tommaso Ciampa, whether it was against Chad Gable, whether it was against Drew McIntyre, the man did not underperform. He brought it even against Big Bronson Reed. Great matches. He deserves it. Your reigning Intercontinental Champion, your longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. I'm talking about the Ring General. Gunther is my number one. Big Daddy.
Horrible. Horrible. My number one pick is the reigning, defending Universal Champion of all time, and that's Roman Reigns. That's it. Enough. Enough is said.
Okay. Well, my number one has been the face of the company for the last year, and had a little bit of a hiccup, and the story continued. And I don't know, it has sort of been a quasi authority figure that's playing on his role in AEW, but without having the actual burden of really having to be a boss, but still playing corporate Cody. It's Cody Rhodes, and I'm not like a long time, big time fan of Cody Rhodes, but I cannot argue with the year that he's had or the 2 years he's had. Number one, probably not so, by process of elimination, I'm sure everyone figured out who it was. So there it is, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and his inappropriately gorgeous wife. That's
a great pick. That's better than any of Chris's top 5 picks, because obviously he's showing his colors of being an AEW homer.
Athena has been doing a fantastic job in Ring of Honor. She's the only superstar I know in Ring of Honor, quite frankly, because she's the only superstar I hear about in Ring of Honor.
Samoa Joe.
So I can't disagree with that pick.
That's the other Creed. Apollo and Athena Creed.
Top UR fan of 2023 went to Jeffrey. Thank you. I can tell you the top one pet of UPR that needs to be put to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us. Please make sure that you follow us on all our social medias. Unpopular Review Wrestling on YouTube, Unpopular Review Entertainment on YouTube, Unpopular Review Sports on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. Make sure you watch us every single Monday for the Mike Knox Show, Tuesday for UPR Entertainment shows and movies, Wednesday for UPR television shows and TV. Also on Tuesday, NXT. Thursday, top 5, all as well as predictions, and we have one for that week, and UPRE. On Saturday, the Raw and SmackDown review show. Follow us at all our sister channels on YouTube. See the Superior has a channel. The Unofficial Camera Woman has a channel. We have podcasts right down here in the Hammerlock Hangover and the Big Pop Theory podcast. Anywhere these things are, please make sure you follow, subscribe, like, tell a friend to tell a friend. Lots of contents, whatever you like, we have for you right here with all of us in the Unpopular Review family. So, for Big Daddy Cool, for Evil Dose, I am none other than the exec consultant, which I believe I won Best Host of 2023 also. Yeah. Happy about that. We'll see you right here.
We just want to, ahead of time, we at Unpopular Review want to apologize for Chris's picks during this video. We'll definitely
which one said it? Which one said it?
Which one? It's so popular. A lot of people agree with that.
But they're all coming from an unpopular person.
We're sending Chris for testing, so don't you guys worry. We'll be back next time with much better picks than Orange Cassidy and
Dave, my friends.